finished in the top 8 in MVP voting. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I would say
5 times.
He's been out there multiple times,
and he's been top 5 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
including the year that he won it.
Yeah.
So that's not a terrible guy.
All right.
Keep
Well,
your eyes
okay.
open.
You want to do early predictions on who the World Series is going to be this year?
Okay,
that's going to be really tough. That's
Okay,
going to be
so-
really tough.
Okay, so I think that we should do. We'll do one today for
Okay.
pitchers and catchers reporting.
Okay.
We'll do one at the end of spring training for
Okay.
opening day.
Yep.
And then I think we should do one at the All-Star break.
Okay, sounds good.
So
You guys got that? All right. So my prediction, I mean, if we're just gonna go by what we know now, what we know currently, I'm gonna definitely go. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. Even again, I can't root for them, but I got to be realistic. The Dodgers just look too good up and down their title, and the fact. Oh wait, we didn't talk about one thing about the Dodgers that I thought was very impressive. The fact that they had what is that kid's name? Kinley, the closer they originally started with.
oh
But then they flipped-
Kenley Jansen.
Kenley Jansen, and then
Yeah.
they flipped around though in the playoffs or World Series at some point and went with Urias.
Yeah.
That to me was Dave Roberts truly saying, "I'm going with the best person available right here, right now.
Right.
To hell with everything," and I'm pretty sure Kinsley was more than happy to win the World Series.
Oh, he was a great teammate.
Yeah.
Watching his reaction during that.
He was excited. He was just wanting to win that game, and I get it. And
Great
that was
fucking
awesome.
teammate.
So that's what I mean. Their lineup is just so potent, and the fact that Dave Roberts can put it in a situation like, no, this guy's got the hot hand in these innings. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with the situation. So I'm going to say the Dodgers right now. Should I do a hot take and say that the Royals might be able to sneak in this year? I won't go that early. Okay, I'll back off on that. I won't go that early. But man, for the AL. We'll definitely go with the AL just seems so up and down. Like it could be anyone's ball game really, but and who's got a really hungry? Because Tampa Bay was just the hungrier team in the end. That ended up just getting in the end. You know what? I'm just gonna say it now, and I think it would just kind of be that the old Steinbrenner versus the new. I'm gonna go with the Yankees. I'll go with the Yankees and the Dodgers.
That's what I was gonna say, man.
I'll go with the Yankees and Dodgers. Those two teams I'm not really huge fans of per se, but I respect the organizations. I respect the money, and who does not want to see the billion dollar World Series? The fact that these teams have always been the high dollar teams, and just see which one can go. The evil empire versus the new empire kind of deal. The storyline itself just writes itself. So.
I've been saying this has been my pick for like the last 3 years. So I'm really hoping it gets this year, especially if the Royals. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Royals are what we're going for here. But DJ LeMahieu wins the batting title, wins the MVP, leads the Yankees to the World Series.
Wow.
There's a bold prediction for you.
That's a hot take prediction right there.
DJ LeMahieu, Garrett Cole lead the Yankees to the World Series to face the Dodgers. And I'm going to take the Dodgers in 7 to repeat.
That's going to be really fun. That's going to be really fun.
I also think that what would be a really good matchup for baseball in terms of entertainment and ratings be White Sox Padres.
Oh yeah,
the talent that would be on that field.
Oh yes, just because I think that is the future. You're right. I think the future is right there within that organization, both organizations, on how they're fielding their teams, and anything's possible. So
really hoping that Tony La Russa is just a dumpster fire, and all that talent just blows up in their face, and Dayton Moore and Mike Matheny just play old school baseball and fucking sneak back into October.
Hey, it's happened for the Royals before, and it can happen again. So
the city's a hell of a lot more fun when they're playing in October. That's for sure.
That is. I mean, this used to be the baseball. It still is. It's still baseball town around here. It's just, which by the way, I'm gonna put this out there as a hot take. Royals fans, you do not do a good job with respecting Salvador Perez and what that man's brought to this team. Just saying.
Salvador Perez, last year that kills me because. One, it was one of his best seasons ever.
Yes.
But only 60 games. He only played in like 39 of them because of injuries and just
because he wasn't quite healed up from the knee injury. So
he is he is the great hope for the Royals to get back into Cooperstown.
Yep.
And that season killed him because it's a lost year. Like when we're talking about counting numbers, he lost a lot statistically from just not having a full season.
Yeah.
But he's got to be close for sure.
I'm really looking forward to him being the manager at some point. 10 years from now, 15 years from whenever he decides, just saying, because I think he can make a really great manager. But you know what they say, most catchers do make great managers. So
He can't manage here though.
You don't think so, huh? You think the expectations too high?
Well, here's the thing though. If Salvador Perez is going to be in the Royals Hall of Fame, he's one of the best players in the history of your franchise, and he's got a chance to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So he's a guy that's going to have a statue at Coffin Stadium. Do you ever want to be in a position to have to fire that guy? You don't want to have to ever be in a position to fire that guy, just from a PR standpoint. It's the same reason why they never hired Frank White or George Brett never wanted to really get into management.
And that's the one thing I don't like about baseball. I feel like managers get thrown on the bus more so than the fact that I feel like there's not enough emphasis on drafting, not enough emphasis on getting the team together, putting together the lineup for a team to be successful. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Dave Moore's done one hell of a job getting a lot of the talents that he did, whether it was the Milwaukee trade for Greinke to bring back Kane and to bring in shortstop. God dang it, I don't know, Alcides Escobar, and then flipping one of the pitchers that they got there to turn around and get the Tampa Bay, both Tampa Bay pitchers, James Shields, and to be able to get Wade Davis, which turned out to be the greatest. Which we flipped back around. That turned out to be the best part of the trade in the end was Wade Davis.
Let's not fucking hate on James Shields. Because what James did for 2 years here was awesome.
He just didn't have the sexy numbers that everybody wants, but dude, 200 innings.
He was a horse.
200 innings consistently, though, you can't not knock that man. So I'm not gonna knock him completely. I just wish that he just had his stuff a little under control and he had an ERA under 5.
He did. For 2 years James Shields was like 26 and like 12. And he had like a 3.2 ERA.
3.2. God damn, man!
James Shields was very good for the 2 years.
I slept during those times apparently.
See, what you have on your mind is the James Shields the last 5 years of his career.
Fair enough.
Where he's in Chicago and he's bouncing around and he just can't get anybody out.
Yes.
Because it's like once he left Kansas City, he just stopped getting people out.
Yes, that is true. That's true. And I don't know if it was just our talent was just amazing or what was the case. Who knows?
But yeah, his 2 years here were really good. So for 2 years, he was 27-17 with a 3.18 ERA and 455 innings pitched.
That's really good.
So he was an absolute horse for the 2 years.
No, absolutely. Just and no, I'll admit I was wrong. I shouldn't.
You had old James in your head.
Yeah, I did.
Which a lot of people do.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, we'll renew my baseball card down the road. Okay, I'm just gonna say, But you're absolutely right. Just that's wise. Anyways. So, real quick, NFL news real quick, guys. 2 big ones. We'll discuss a smaller one. First is J.J. Watt. I know Tyler hasn't been too particular because he's been really, as you can see, he's been really studying up the baseball part. But for my opinion, J.J. Watt just got released by the Texans, which I said in the first vlog that I felt bad for him, Texans fans, and now he can write his own ticket on where he wants to go. And I know that he has said in interviews consistently, he wants to go to a contender. So all the contending teams, everybody from the Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers, to Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Seattle, all those teams have a chance for JJ. I think the most interesting one is him going to Pittsburgh so he could be with his brothers, but I don't think that's going to be necessarily the case. So of course Green Bay is always sexy just because of the fact that he's from Wisconsin. Yeah. So and he played for the University of Wisconsin. So we'll see. We'll see where his best interest is. Now, obviously, Tyler would love to have him for the Chiefs. I especially would love to have him for the 49ers, but we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll wish him the best of luck. And free agency apparently is wild for him, according to his Twitter. So
yeah, I think the NFC West, I think everybody in that division really should be in the running.
Oh, of course. I mean, I think any team that's in playoff contending mode, like the Jets, are definitely not gonna. I mean, he's gonna say no to the Jets. I think, so and he's gonna say no to the Jaguars. I'm just saying so. But the second big news, and this was a pretty big news today, Carson Wentz gets traded to the Colts. That's not the big news. I figured Carson Wentz was out. Once especially they got rid of Doug Peterson, I thought that Carson Wentz was pretty much on the hot seat of saying, okay, we're going to let you go. But third round pick for this year, 2021. That's the 85th pick, by the way.
Well done, Eagles.
And they're giving them a conditional second round pick for next season that could turn into the Colts' first round pick if Carson Wentz finishes 75% of offensive snaps in the season, or finishes 70% of the snaps during the regular season with the playoffs.
I don't care what you think about Frank Reich as a offensive coach and a quarterbacks coach and an NFL head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz is hot garbage.
Okay.
There it is. I think Carson Wentz is trash.
Okay.
So I think the Eagles, well done, Eagles.
Well done. From my perspective of it, they had to get as low as they got simply because the contract is just horrible. So that was the thing. The Colts was probably one of the very few teams that were quarterback needy, that had the money to be able to spend to say, okay, we need a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I actually believe that Carson Wentz can be a highly above average, not elite, but definitely above average quarterback with that level of defense. If they keep the offensive line intact. And here's the great news. The Colts still have their first round pick. They have their second round pick. And this draft coming up, I know we're not supposed to be talking a lot about this, but I'm going to say this draft is heavy in skill position players, up and down, 1 through 7. I mean,
he definitely has all the physical tools.
Okay.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I think at this point, you can't really teach somebody to see the field. Like, I just think the clock has ran out on him for him to, like, really learn to see the NFL field.
Even at 28 years old, 27 years old, whatever he is.
I don't know, because I
think that I think that what he has a chance to do is he can reset. In the fact that I think that, first of all, I don't know if it was just because of the whole situation there, but I just feel like that Philadelphia I think Doug Peterson, something happened between Doug Peterson and him, or the organization and him, but I feel like the positional players that they had was not
like him.
Well, and for whatever reason, that we don't know. Right. But I just really do feel like that if he gets Najee Harris out of Alabama, if you could get someone of that caliber of running back, you get a couple other good wide receivers to match with Michael Pittman Jr. because T.Y. Hilton is a free agent. We don't know. They don't know if they're going to bring him back or not. So there's so many, and they definitely need tight end help. There's some aspects to their game that they can absolutely look at and say, we need these positional players and be able to help ourselves in the situation. I think they can get that in this draft, and they can really get into contention. Now, that relies heavily on what Frank Reich can get out of Carson Wentz, because you want to talk hot garbage, look at Phillip Rivers. He literally cost them how many games?
Yeah.
Literally, he cost them how many games? And don't get me wrong, I didn't like the running back lineup necessarily either, and I didn't like the fact that poor T.Y. Hilton still doesn't have a whole lot of help. Michael Pittman is just getting started, and Paris, who I was a big fan of, coming out of Ohio State, hasn't. He's just flashes here and there, and I don't know if it's the offense or what it could be. But again, I'll give this team a chance, and of course, I'm a Defoe fan. Shout out to my boy DeBoris Buckner. I hope you're happy in Indianapolis. We miss you in San Francisco, but he really has helped that defense line up to where they are going to be in the top 3 for years. And between him and as long as Leonard gets healthy, that's going to be an interesting team coming into the AFC next season. So, Chiefs, you got to run for your money coming up here the next few years, because you got other teams that are hot on your backs trying to come up. So, because right now it's a dogfight in the NFC. Tampa Bay might have won, but they ain't going to be the most talented team the NFC is going to bring out. So, just saying. All right, so those are the only two I wanted to get out of the way. NBA news, anything?
All-Star game starting lineups. In the West, you have LeBron, Steph, Luka. Let me see. 3, who's 4?
It was a sick lineup.
LeBron, Steph, Luka, Jokic.
Oh, God. Was it the guy from Utah? No, it wasn't Donovan Mitchell. I'm trying to think. I think Mitchell plays for Utah. Shoot,
Let's see. Let me just pull it up real quick.
you might as well. Shows you how much I know about the NBA, guys. Sorry. So I just been getting back into NBA stuff because of this channel. So I'm catching up. I'm trying to catch up. So you know, I'm still stuck in the Chicago Bulls run back in 1997, 98 season. So. And yes,
Kawhi. And then on the East, you have Durant, Kyrie, Beal, and Giannis and Embiid. So actually, the East is pretty stacked too at the starting lineup.
Is there any guy that I feel more bad for than Bradley Beal?
Bradley
Washington
Beal.
team?
Here's the thing with Washington: if that fucking team played any defense, they would be in the playoffs.
You mean outside of Bradley Beal?
Well, yeah. I mean. Well, here's the thing: the way he's scoring, he doesn't really need to guard anybody.
But yeah, he's also trying to put everybody on his back, and it's like, dude, that's not even fair to the poor kid, man. I always feel like defense is always the hot topic in the NBA. It's like the team would play the same thing with the Brooklyn Nets if they only play defense. Watch the Wizards if they only play defense.
Well,